Alright, hi there! Can everyone hear me alright? We're gonna get started here in just a second. Just gonna grab some stuff and we're gonna get going. Thanks y'all for coming back out. I'm excited. Thanks, Zaris. Glad that y'all can't hear me. I'm excited to get started. I'm doubly excited because today I reached affiliate, and that means a couple of cool things. One, I can hopefully make at least a little bit of cash to help offset some of my bills, which is really great. But even more so, I can do some fun stuff with the stream. So we have a couple of new things. You'll notice there are some new badges. There are emotes that we've got put in, and then I even have some sound bites and even text-to-speech that we can use, things like that that just might make it a little more fun. You can see the little bird in the bottom left of the screen there. That's our chatting bird. If you do a text-to-speech, that little bird's gonna speak it out for you. So feel free to give it a shot if you want. If you don't, that's fine too. We're still gonna focus primarily on leatherworking tonight. I've got a few things that I want to get done. The first is we need to pack up the cuff set that we finished last night, and then from there we're going to move on to some of the other options, the other things that I want to do, including stitching up some collars and cuffs. And then getting back to designing some of the masks that we were working on yesterday. So let me get my packing stuff and we'll get started here in just a second. So, good question. It is bits for the text-to-speech, and it is 300 bits. I believe that's about $3. I can change and adjust that. I might do so in the future. Right now, I figured that might be good. I don't want to be like bombarded with text-to-speech, but I do want to make it, cheap enough that somebody might want to do it. So we'll see. I'm still playing with all of this. This is all new to me. So bear with me and feel free to give me feedback as we go. All right. Yeah, I'm hoping to avoid some Moonbase Alpha. But, you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll, let's see if this works. Aw, thank you. Thank you for the cheers, Ars. I'm actually curious. It looks like it did not go through, at least not as a text-to-speech. Let's see here. It looks like... Where are you? So it is going to be more than... It's not just a, like, you just cheer the 300 bits, which... Where that, I should have been a little more clear. But thank you. I appreciate the cheers, and we'll try it out at some point. I'm also... Oh. Aw, thank you. Thank you for the follow. No. Hey, how have you been? It's been a long time. This was not a ruse to steal your hard-earned bits. No, this is just us figuring out the ins and outs of how to use this system. You know, as the streamer, I should know this stuff, but I certainly don't. So... Yeah, it is just like the old days, isn't it? You know, I had a guess based off the username of who it might be. Glad to see I was right. Now we play the game of where did Birdie set the cuffs?
Fuck it, we all have some more. I'd be happy to help you with channel setup and with a chatbot for commands if you'd like, Hon.
Oh, perfect. I would love some help at some point with that. Thank you. I feel entirely set these cuffs down to pack them up a few minutes ago. And now I can't find them. And yes, it's just the voice I decided to go with. I don't know. Here we are. Here we go. Now we get to play the can we make everything fit into this package? There we go. So when I'm packing up stuff like this, I usually will wind up nesting a lot of this, because I find it just tends to get a little smoother. But if we can't get it all to fit, I have a larger box we can work with. No. Sounds good. Thank you. I'll definitely hit you up after stream. And yeah, we can talk at any point. But any pointers or suggestions or ideas, I'm happy to chat with. I think we can do this as kind of a half and half setup here. How's everyone's Thursday evening going? Everyone doing well? Tighten these up all the way. There we go. Just nest this right in here. So long as we get those buckles situated. Should fit just fine. There we are. Just like that. A little more padding in here. That sounds like a frustrating project, especially if you're still working on it. I'm assuming it's far more complex than I'm thinking of it. There we go. Hi there, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Business card for the last little bit. Oh gosh, a 2-month project? That sounds fun. I don't envy you. Alright. That was simple. That was easy enough. It's all packed. I'm not going to do the postage, obviously, but packing is done. So we can set this aside and move on to other things tonight. I mean, that's fair, Sorka. I know it is something that you do for work, but, you know, it's, I get the frustrating projects. I've had plenty of them in my day. Okay. Next up, we are going to Alright, next up it looks like we are going to start stitching our navy blue collar here. We've been working on this for about a week now. Mostly here on stream. It's actually been fun. And now we're actually going to stitch this whole thing up today. Now, it's set up, but that should only take a minute. And then we're going to do a little bit of a test stitch, make sure that I've got all my settings right, before we actually run the final stitching through the collar itself. The last thing we want to do is damage it, or have to like redo stuff because I've damaged the leather by not preparing the stitching. Alright, I'm going to turn the PTZ off for a moment, mostly so I can adjust it a little bit and get it set up with the sewing machine. Alright, here we go. Thank you for the posture check. Oh, stretching my back a little bit, making sure I'm not hunched over. Move this around a little bit here. Alright, there we go. What that does is that redeems a posture check for me, which makes me have to straighten up and keep good posture rather than hunched over like a shrimp, like I more naturally tend to be. I think we're looking good there. Alright, so here's our sewing setup now. I'm actually really excited to use it. Got most everything prepped for this particular stitching here. But we are going to do just some rough stitch checks with my sewing dog, just to make sure that everything's still in line, everything looks good, and we're not going to have a poor stitching run here. So this sewing machine is electric, but I tend to run it just by hand. I like moving a little slower, and it helps me make sure my stitches stay in line. Alright, check on that, see how it's looking. Stitch up top is looking pretty good. On the bottom we're looking pretty good too. I'm actually pretty happy with that right there. So I think we should be good to go. Hi Ash, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you. We are just getting started on some stitching of one of the collars we've been working on. It's one of the first ones I've gotten to do where I actually get to use my sewing machine as well, so doubly excited for that. Alright, a couple things we're going to do to the collar as well. I am going to put just a little bit of tape over the hardware we have. Reason being, I don't want the sewing foot to damage the hardware or scuff it in any way that's more permanent than just a smudge. So yeah, with that in mind, we're going to do that. I think I'm going to switch us over. I'm going to do... That's going to look a little bit better. Turn on the table cam again. And give it just a little bit more that way, just so it's a little more centered there. And we're going to give this a go. Wish me luck, chat. I'm hoping this works. Like I said, this is one of the first pieces that I've actually gotten to sew on for this sewing machine. So there is at least mediocre amount, there's a mediocre chance that this could go horribly wrong. I'm hoping it does not, but I'm also realistic. Right about there. Flip it over to backstitch. Thanks, y'all. I'm hoping it goes really smoothly. Here goes nothing. Make sure that stitch is a little bit further back than where we're at. Love the back stitching portion. It's always a little finicky here, but it's going to help lock in our stitch at the end. Go back one more time here. Ideally. There we go. Just like that. Switch back forward. Adjust this just a little bit because I'm going to go straight back into the same hole I was in. Go. There. Alright. And we're off. Let's see if we can do this. Extra careful to make sure we're staying in line here. Just like that. And I actually think I'm going to move this over just a little bit here. I think you'll get a better view. Just like that. Plus, I get a little extra light. Sounds like... Interesting. Sorry, my music decided to cut out right at that moment. Alright, we're looking pretty good, chat. Fingers crossed, but this might actually work pretty well. Thank you. It is a gorgeous sewing machine. This is a universal. It is one of the HA15 models. So basically, it just means it's a clone of the Singer HA15, except this one was made in Japan. And it is gorgeous. I love detailing work on this. And because it was made in like the late 40s, early 50s, this thing's bulletproof. So this one, I believe, so I'm calling it the HA15, but I believe it's not a true Singer. I believe it's because it's universal, I looked up the kind of provenance and it was a Japanese company, at least as I understand it. I could be completely wrong. if it is truly Singer made, I would be thrilled. Either way, it's a lovely machine. I bought it refurbished, and it seems to be doing really well. I'm going to give a quick look here, make sure my stitching on the back looks good. It does. I don't know if y'all can hear over the music. I love the kind of whirs and clicks this machine makes as it goes too. It's a very satisfying sounding machine. Alright, we're coming up on probably the last stitch of this line. Pretty close to it anyway. There we go. For just a second. I'm gonna make sure I'm in line where I want to be. There we go. Now that it's fully down, do a quick rotate here. Just like that. Lift this up just a little bit here, get us back in line, and we'll kind of figure this out. The hardware is doing exactly what I figured it might. That means it's being a bit of a pain. But we're making it in the end. Go. Pop that foot up, just release some tension here. Since I'm kind of sewing under pressure. That up. just trying to get this lined up so it goes properly here. A little bit of the issue. Let's see here. There we are. There we go. Now we can move this over a bit. Make sure we're lined up here. Alright. And we're going again. Okay. There we go. Asha, thank you so much for the subscription. Don't know why it didn't play. You know what? I think I forgot to add it to this scene. That would be my mistake. I will play it again here in just a little bit. Back here. There we go. Alright, we're making some good progress here. That is a great question. If you wanted to order a collar from me, you can do so on my website. Generally they run, at least collars like this one, will run about $150. I do have cheaper options as well, some different designs. So don't feel like you're locked into just this kind of collar, or just this price point. Because I'm stitching through some pretty thick leather here, you'll notice that occasionally my needle likes to get a little stuck. I guess not stuck, it doesn't go through the right hole, which usually just means the leather's pushing it a little bit to one side or the other. That's where I'm kind of back turning a little bit, adjusting a bit, and then sending it back down through. Take a seat here. And standing up, and I think it's going to be a little more comfortable and easier for me to see like this. I also tend to find these mess-ups are usually on my own part, since I'm the one nudging the leather strap. I've got to get to a point where I trust this machine to generally do what it's going to do right. That might take some of that pressure off. No. Almost there, y'all. more in here. We are nearly done here. I'm excited about that. Take a second, trim off some of our excess there. Aw, thank you, Matcha. Now, I hope this can be a nice, really relaxing, chill stream for you. Up here. A little bit of a push there. I'm going to adjust this so it's right in that corner. Underside's looking pretty good. Happy to see that. And we're going to try to backstitch this a little bit. If I had truly been smart and knew what I was doing, I wouldn't have put this end right in the corner here. That was a bad mistake on my part. think we are there. Alright. I'm pretty pleased with that, y'all. That's looking pretty good. Hi there, Foxy. Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat as much. I've been focused on trying to get this stitching good. So thank you. Thanks for dropping by. I think we're in a good spot with this, y'all. Alright, let's cut these threads down really fast. There we go. There's my little thread burner. Okay. Go. I'll be honest, I'm pretty dang pleased with that. That took about half the time to hand stitch, and I think I could go faster. I'm just still not comfortable with this machine yet. And it was a lot less painful for my hands, so I am really grateful for that. Yeah, that's looking really good. I'm pleased. Alright, we are going to do the other side, then this collar is going to be done, and we can move on to our next little thing that we're going to do. Hope everyone's having a good time. Hope this is still kind of the chill stream you're looking for. Please feel free to chat, ask some questions if you have them. Otherwise, just enjoy the vibes. Or be like Sorka and have no chill at all. That's perfectly fine, so long as the lack of chill is not directed at any one person. Right. We are going to see if we can't get this next bit going here. Top thread. Learn from my mistake a little bit. Start a little bit further down this collar this time, or this end, so that when we back stitch, we have a little more room. We're not right in the corner. Everybody rage. Actually, I think I've got a good emote for this. Orb rage. Orb rage. Alright. sometimes you just gotta let the rage fly a little bit. Work with me a little bit here. Okay. My mistake. Line that hole back up. There we go. There we go. It's almost like when I trust the machine to do its job and don't try to like nudge it in the right direction, it does its job and does it really well. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad the work's looking good from your angle too. It has been a bit of a rough week, so make sure y'all to take some breaks, get some water, stay hydrated. I myself need to refill my water. But yeah, we'll be taking care of ourselves. There we go. Nice full glass of water. My favorite Pizza Hut solo cup. Yep, I'm gonna hydrate myself right now. We do love the Pizza Hut cup. Yep. The finest china deserves the finest Red Solo Pizza Hut cups. Up on that corner here, so I'm going to make sure this is nice and lined up. There we go. Just a little bit further here. My foot's having a hard time walking with me. Manually set this one again, make sure we're in the corner here. Best as we can be, at least. Go. You love a pizza party, especially at the end of the year. It's a good celebration. Although I'm also of the opinion that you don't really need a reason to have a celebration, or a reason to have a pizza party. You just have one, you know? Why wait? Alright, we're just finishing this collar up here. gosh, are we talking about the like scholastic reading gifts or the reading incentives? I was such an avid reader growing up. I got a lot of those rewards. Alright, we're finishing this collar up here pretty soon. Feeling pretty good about this. Welcome back, Roxy. Thanks for coming in. We are just stitching up a collar right now. We finally got the thread I've been waiting for, so we get to do this. Once we finish this up here in just a minute though, we will probably change pace for a few minutes, give my hand a little bit of a break, and I might work on either the mask that I'm working on digitizing, or work on getting the back brace situated, because we can kind of do either or. If chat has a preference at all, if anybody wants to see something specific, by all means let me know. Go. Let's turn here. A little bit over here. Do this mostly manually, because the walking piece is not going to do much here. That is something I didn't anticipate. Okay, hold on. Move this off here. Knocked. Okay. This might be a little tricky. See how we're hitting that? Oh, well, maybe you can't see because I'm not showing it well enough. So this little bar right here is actually hitting my buckle. Unfortunately, this bar is also holding on the needles, so I kind of can't remove it Can't really be a little creative here. There we go. Make sure that. Literally gonna do this one by hand. Now, the threads in. Give that a nice twist here. Come back. Just a little bit of a back stitch here. Just because I want to make sure I do this right. Aw, night Zaris, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out for a little while, I really appreciate it. I'll be on again on Monday at 10 or next Wednesday at 7. But I also might do something this weekend. Kind of want to see about actually playing some games and streaming a little bit just to try something. See if it might be some fun. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Always appreciate having you. Almost done with this. We love when the stitching does not go quite according to plan. Go. Quick rotate. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera right now. Mistake. For that. Thank you so much for the follower, Giraffe Chen. I really appreciate it. And we finished our goal. I'm really excited about that too. Thank you for helping me get to 40 followers. As someone who's just kind of getting started here, I'm really excited to see people are interested in this stuff. go. We are just going to do some quick back stitches here to finish this out. All that good, I think. Alright. Pretty decent there. Can't complain too much about that. Obviously still learning. This isn't always the perfectly cleanest, but I think I can actually fix that. If not, I'll just do a quick hand stitch that'll get it looking just right. But, for the most part, that's our collar done. Let me get our sewing machine out of the way here for a minute. Just so we can look at... There we go. Just so we can look at this and do a quick hand stitch to fix the one little error that I've got. Alright. Do some quick adjustments here. Better. So yeah, we're looking good. We just have this that doesn't quite look right, but I think we can get that with just a little bit of hand stitching. We're gonna grab our needles here. Let's see. Thank you. The lo-fi is always nice. I appreciate it, so I'm glad other people do as well. Widen this hole just a little bit here. Make sure I can get... Oh yeah, there we go. So what we're going to do here is a little bit of creative stitching. Take a little bit of our thread here. Make sure it's secured. We're just going to do a little bit of a oh no, that was a fun little glitch there. My computer decided to have a network error. Am I still on stream for people? Can I be heard? I'm still having a little bit of technical issues here. Yeah, it looks like Okay. Looks like we're back, maybe? If y'all can hear me, if you can see everything, please let me know. I'd like to make sure we're still live. Perfect. Looks like we're just having a little bit of Wi-Fi issues today, or rather, internet issues. I'm streamed and connected in. So, we'll hopefully won't have that issue again. But if we do, we will be right back. So, either way, we'll make this work. Okay, we are just going to put a needle on either side of our thread here. Give it a good pull, just like that. We're going to go around, just like this, and back through both of these needles here on either side of the thread. Just like that. There we go. What that's going to do is it's going to kind of fake a stitch here. And we are just going to cut those off, and we're going to burn them down so that they meld together. Just like that. Down a little bit further, just so we don't have so much excess here. Burn that down. Just kind of set it right on the same bit of thread. So it just kind of fades in with everything else. Give this a quick burn down, just like that. One more, just like that. Now it's still a little bit messy over here. It is certainly better than it was. Stitching all looks even now. So this piece is done. I am very happy to say that. With this type of thread, I don't need to like flatten or hammer it down like I do with the other threads. I can just kind of chill out and just kind of let it be. Now it looks like we are about to run into a quick ad break. Again, I'm still working on these, so if you hate the ads, please let me know, give me a little bit of feedback. But it should be a quick one. I will probably use this as a moment to go to the bathroom, so I encourage you guys to do the same. And we will kind of come back here in about 2 or 3 minutes total. I think the ads only last a minute or so. But yeah, we'll be back in just a minute. Alright, we are back. Hopefully, again, we're functioning. Twitch was being a little bit weird there, but it seems like we're doing okay. Welcome back. Hope you had a chance to get a drink, go to the bathroom, grab a snack. We just finished this collar. I am very pleased with how it turned out. I think it looks really nice. At some point, we'll take some photos, kind of finish it off, and get some photos of this and be done with it. But for now, I kind of want to know what everybody wants to do, because we have a couple of options. Now that this has been stitched, the next thing on my agenda was to actually go through and do some more stitching with some rainbow thread. I do need to get that thread set up if we're going to use it. That's going to take a little bit. Happy to do it. But if we want to focus or shift gears and do something with the design of like the face mask patterns that I started last night, we can work on those, or we can jump back to the back brace, the back support harness, and work on that a little bit. We're basically just kind of, we have a choice of what we want to do. I'll give you a second. If you have anything that you want to see particularly, let me know in chat. Or you can let me know through that fancy TTS orb over in the corner. Alternatively, I will just go probably do a little bit more of that stitching, kind of work on the black custom leather set that I am needing to finish up. So we can kind of go through wherever we want. This is my set of black custom, it's like a 7-piece set. So we have a lot of stitching we can do with this. So if we're feeling kind of like comfortable and stitching is nice and chill enough, we can keep working on this. Probably try to get a few of these stitched up and finished. They shouldn't take too long. The big ones here, our thigh cuffs will probably be what take the longest, but everything else should go pretty quickly. If we're going to go that route, I should get a couple pieces of this leather so we can make sure that the sewing machine is calibrated for it. Set these off to the side while I get the sewing machine back out. Situated back over here. For the moment, because we're going to do a little bit of work over here. We finished with the perfect amount. So this is my bobbin. It should have a thread on it, specifically this blue thread, but it looks like we ran out right as we finished, which means I had the perfect amount for the work that we were doing, which is kind of wild. I'm glad we didn't run out in the middle of stitching. That would have been a pain. So yeah, that's a little crazy. So this, my variegated rainbow thread, that does not want to focus here, probably because we're just a little bit too close. Move that over. Yeah, So we're going to give this stuff a go, see how it looks. But in order to do that, we need to grab our bobbin and refill it. That's going to happen right here. Grab some of this thread here. Set this there. And I'll move the camera here in a second so you'll see this a little bit better. Just gonna thread it through. Because it's such a large spool, I've got to use a slightly different setup than I normally would. Okay. Try to get this kind of locked in here so that we're threading properly. There we go. Move y'all again here so you can see the bobbin threading process. Not the recursive chat window on my computer. Yeah. Give this a nice spin here. This bobbin is going to wind up and give us the thread that we need for sewing here. It is sometimes the pain of a larger spool here. Get this kind of jumping process. See if this works a little bit better. Actually, let's switch over to focus here so you can see this a little bit clearer. I didn't realize I had you on the wrong thing here. Looks like we lost some people when we went into the Twitch glitch, but it happens. Happy for those of y'all that stuck around. Thanks for sticking around with me. Definitely appreciate it. I hope your evenings are still going well. Try to keep this from getting super tangled. Keep winding this up for a little bit. Make sure this gets nice and full, because we don't really want to run out in the middle of our project here. You heading out, Sorka? Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with me this evening. I really appreciate it. Have a good evening. Say hi to Star for me. Twitch Glitch is a good band name. Holy smokes, you're right. Oh, saw that one coming. So it tries to unwind itself a little bit. I need a better setup for these really, really large spools. Okay, so the tension right here is not a bad option. I'll just kind of hold my finger with the line and let it kind of pass through. Might see if I can't design a little piece that could do that automatically here. Should just help this whole process go a little bit smoother. Okay. We are going to do that. I'm actually going to cut a little bit further back here. So here's our filled bobbin. It's all that thread that we have underneath the sewing machine. I'm going to make sure it's situated and threaded. Get it up underneath here. There we go, just like that. As it falls out and lands on itself. Cool. Good job, Birdie. We love that. Alright, we're gonna wind this back up here. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Now, move this back around here. You can see this process a little bit. We take our bobbin here, and we are just going to set it back here, make sure it locks into place nicely. Now we're going to take our rather large spool of thread here, and we are going to set it up back here behind the sewing machine itself. And here, it's going to sit in this little gap. Eventually, might move it as we go. First things first, do that. I'm going to make sure we're doing further. Threads at the, or our needle's at the highest setting here. Just going to be right there. Make sure we're on that. Thread right through there. Just like that. Pull a little more slack out for me. There we go. Rather have a little too much. Now we're going to go down through this little loop here in the front of the sewing machine. And then around this one, and then finally through this left side of the needle proper. There we go. Just like that. Tuck it back. And next, we get to pull the thread up from the bobbin itself. Set that down. Keep it nice and tight. Send the needle in to grab the thread. I'm going to use the excess here. Just pull that loop out. So you should be able to see that little loop of red thread there. Just under the foot. Pull the rest of that out, and there we go. We are set up. Not the most engaging thing, I know, but it is pretty important for making sure that our sewing machine works. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a quick test run. So these are the two leathers that I'm going to be sewing together. So I'm going to run this little feed dog through just to see and make sure that this machine is situated and that all of my tensions are good, because I want this to go smoothly. Now obviously we don't want to make any mistakes on the actual collars themselves. Feed this through, just a few. I'm not really worried so much about how straight this is right now, although it is staying pretty well straight. I'm more worried about just making sure that the stitching looks good. In this case, we are going to pull this out here, see what we're dealing with. Yeah, we've got a relatively good stitch going. I can probably adjust my upper tension just a little bit, which I think I'm going to do. Do that up here, probably about 3/4 of a turn on my little tension rod or my tension dial. The reason I'm doing that is because you can see here, hopefully, you can see here that the upper tension is not quite taut enough to pull the red thread into the leather all the way. So by adjusting it, we're hoping that we have fixed that. And we'll give it a couple more stitches just to test. So once we have this dialed in, we can do all the sewing we need to on this leather, and we know that that tension is going to be good. Alright, let's give that a check. Looking a little bit better, maybe a little bit more, but I think we're almost there. So I know it's a Thursday evening and there's one more day till the true weekend. Does anybody have any fun plans this weekend? Alright, that is much cleaner. I'm way more happy with that. Actually lower it just a hair. I'm going to cut this off and we will actually get started on stitching up some of our stuff. There we go. These cuffs are probably going to be the hardest thing we do tonight. Mostly because they're just a really small area of stitching. And they're going to kind of look a little funky. Well, they're going to work a little bit funky because that foot is going to get in the way. Hey, a party at a friend's place is always nice. Alright. Reorganizing. That is so valid and absolutely something that I probably need to do as well. It's lined up here. I want to be in the middle, so I need to backstitch a couple. Oh yeah, the car meet. I forgot you do that. That'll be really cool. I hope it goes really, really well for you. Even if it is a little quieter. Quieter can be really nice. Get some lighting here. So I hope it goes really nicely. Go. Yep, it's definitely a Nintendo, like, Pokemon general lo-fi. This just a little bit. Come on, work with me. go. There we go. Back on track here. Yep, it's Pokemon. Almost entirely. Hi Fibble, welcome to the stream. Thank you. I'm really excited to reach affiliate. There's just so many things that I can do with the stream now, and I'm excited to give them a shot. Honestly, just streaming in general has been a whole lot of fun, and I'm really excited to do more of it, to try new things, and to generally just kind of enjoy doing something that I've wanted to do for a really long time and haven't been sure I was ever going to be able to do, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're definitely in it today doing some manual stitching. That is largely the game plan for the day. Not super pleased with how that turned out. Oh no, okay. Pull this off here. Because it looks like I've got break my thread. does happen sometimes. Pull that out. Get this fixed. Oh, thank you. Really appreciate it. Basically just gonna end these stitches here where they're at. Start with a new set of thread here. Go. Thank you for the support, and you're absolutely right, Bibble. It's definitely the joy that I get from doing this is absolutely the most important part of me doing it. It's just fun to share these experiences with people. Like, I could be doing this all alone in the workshop with nobody on, nobody to talk to, and I would still kind of enjoy it, but being able to share kind of the mess ups and the mistakes, as well as the successes with y'all, really just makes it all the sweeter when I figure stuff out. I have no idea how I managed to get that twisted, but get that fixed. There we go. Alright. I'm tempted to do something a little bit different here. First things first, bring these back. Mostly because I just don't want them getting in the way. But I think what I'm going to actually do here, I'm going to undo the screws on these. It's one extra step. It'll take a little bit longer. I know I'm not actually showing you on the camera what we're going to do. But I'm going to basically take the screws closest to the stitching out, just temporarily. My hope is that I can get a nicer, let's see here. Nope, we are. Alright, There we go. Better. Can't have that DMCA copyright. Flame, definitely need to make sure that my audio is on repeat, or on replay or reshuffle. Alright, this I think will work. There we go, that's looking cleaner. And running. Oh, so much smoother. Yeah, I think you're right, Fiddle. At least I hope so. I hope people who watch the video after will enjoy it and maybe be able to learn a little bit, but just generally appreciate the process of leatherwork. That up, we're gonna do a couple back stitches here. Go. One more for good measure. Are. There we go. Much better. It's a little bit cleaner. Definitely still some perfecting to go through, but generally, I'm happy with this. There we go. Let's thread some quick zaps here. There we go. Last little bit of trim. So, Bibble, thank you. I am checking my posture right now. I have been shrimped up for a little bit, so I appreciate that. Everybody else should get a good quick stretch. Just kind of get cozy and comfy again. Been sitting still for a while, maybe get up, take a quick break, take a quick walk, even if it's just to the kitchen to get some water. We'll be right here when you come back. Definitely think the key to this, to getting a good stitch line with these, is going to be to effectively take off the screws closest to the thread. Seems like it's just the smart move, the smart way to go. Yeah, we'll get a much squarer cut. Now, I'm a perfectionist. We'll see how I feel about that particular cuff later on in the evening, and I might wind up on my own time going back and remaking it, just because it wasn't too hard to make, and I am a perfectionist. We are going to take the screws off of this cuff next. There we go. Ultimately, what I will start doing, I think, going forward for these sort of projects is just not putting the screws in until the very end. Which will save me this process of having to take them out to sew. There we go. That should give me a better, more even space to work with. Fix this needle here real fast. I don't know how this happened. There we go. There we go. Much better cut that time. Yeah, so we might finish this cuff here and then take a break and work on something else. Mostly because I'm going to need a mental break on this project for a little bit. And I want to do a little bit of other fun stuff. You know, if we get the mask patterned out, we can actually probably laser cut that, which would be really fun to do tonight. We can start to put that together and see what it looks like. See if I get my patterns right. Okay. Stay on this side. Right about there. And then we're going to get back to stitching. Start with our back stitches. There's one. There's two. Switch that back up so we can go forward. Here we go. And we're moving along nicely this time. There. Alright, so we come up on the corner. I'm just going to move y'all down a little bit here so y'all can see hopefully a little bit better. A better spot for you anyway. Yeah. I think that'll work well. The main thing we want is we just want that go right there in that corner, just like that. Lift that foot up, give this a nice turn. That foot back down. Make sure we're on that line here. Here we go. Make sure we're staying as even on that line as we physically can here. Right in the corner, lift that foot up, and a nice turn here. That gives us nice sharp corners, and when done right, it looks really good. Do I always do it right? No. No, I do not. I do try. I mean, same. The Pokemon themes are great. Such a good balance of really chill And then some of them are really kind of like hype. They build you up like Pokemon battle music. But it's just a good combo. And when you make it into lo-fi, it's just perfect. This gets in the way. Go ahead and cut this back. Thank you for everyone sticking around. I know this is kind of slow, not really like a hugely hyped stream here, but I appreciate every one of you being here so much. Here we go. Do a couple back stitches to finish it off. There we are. Okay, this one is so much cleaner. Take a look at that. That is so much nicer. I'm very pleased with that. Turn this back a little bit. Just like that. Here we are. There. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That is much cleaner than my first attempt. And knowing that these Chicago screws were the problem is going to save me a lot of problems in the future. There we go. Alright, we are going to finish this up, and we're going to kind of shift gears here for a little bit, take a break on our sewing and stitching, and we are going to work on those that mask that I was working on. So I think that's just going to be a good change of pace here. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good as a finished piece. Can't complain myself. All right. So with that in mind, let's see, we are going to switch over here. I am going to move to move over to the designer so we can get that pulled up and work on the patterns a little bit. I'm going to get up and stretch so my posture is a little bit nicer. Thank you, Fizzle. Just as a general reminder, I think that was still pretty old, but it just kind of popped up from here again. Hey, it's Borb. I was working on our little bird friend over in the corner. We're going to close him out. We're going to open our pattern from last time. I'm going to adjust our that adjusted just so we know what we're doing right now. Now's a good time. If you haven't, definitely grab some water, grab a drink. Maybe it's a good time for hot chocolate or even a soda if you're falling asleep but want to stay awake. Now, here's our patterns so far. We have our front face shield, we have our right face shield. When we line them up, they match pretty dang nicely. That's exactly what I want to see. Double check that here. Oh, these snaps are a pain in the butt sometimes. Nope, okay. I'm just gonna have to zoom in and do this the hard way. There we go. So those line up really nicely, which means we should be able to just kind of flip this over. We're gonna copy this, I'm gonna paste it, and we're gonna transform by flipping it horizontal. And now we should have another piece here. Now what we need to check more than anything is, do these holes line up in the same way? The answer here is not quite, which does not surprise me. But what we're gonna do, yep, that's gonna be the layer I want. We are actually gonna adjust our face mask layer to match the holes that we have. Yep. Just like this, we're going to match these. Perfect. Much better. Now we have our full face mask, at least the pattern of it. Now what we can do here, and this is where I'd be very interested to see if chat has any suggestions. what we can do is we can actually see if we want to add any special designs or any special features. Historically, I've done a very simple slot right here in the center. So something like that, then I round the corners out. Do that. This is kind of the Hannibal Lecter look, if you will. Not my personal favorite style to go with, but people tend to like it. We could easily do this. We could change up these. We could try to put a special design on it, or some various other form of customization here. And since we're just kind of playing around, like I said, I'd love to hear what y'all have to say. I'm thinking, let's see, what else could we do? In the past, for like my corset, I've done a mushroom, or mushrooms, roses, that sort of thing, which are really cool because I can actually tool them after the fact. So we could do something like that. We could see if that would look nice. Those are pretty simple. Usually what I'll do is for that sort of thing, I will just kind of have I have a couple designs that I've done in the past, and I just kind of bring them in as line art just to give us rough lines that I can then tool and work on separately. Let's see here. If I do a simple one here might be something like this, a feather of some kind. I'm always partial to birds. But we would just kind of reshape this a little bit. We can put it really anywhere we want. We could copy them over, give them a couple different designs. Probably would try to mirror it. But yeah, for now, I think what we might do is, let's see what this would look like. So if we kind of took this and worked this around, can kind of make a spread of feathers here to kind of get rid of the overlaps for the laser's sake, but within these lines here that could look really nice. Let's see if we erase, where's my eraser? Where did my eraser go? Okay, Affinity Designer. I think I might need to be in the pixel. That's it. Yes. So from here, you're basically just going to go through, erase anything that would be kind of overlap. In this case, let's see. In this case, I think we're going to have this feather be on top. So we're going to go down here, we're going to erase this. Just like this. I want to erase everything. Technically behind the feather in front of it. Just like that. We're going to do the last thing over here. Same thing with this feather. Here we go. Just like that. So now we have a couple feathers here we could work with. And it should not be difficult to jump back around as I've got neighbors revving engines. Jump back around, copy and paste this, and then transform it so it is flipped over. Just like that. Just going to move it into the same spot on the other side. And now we have some line work to go with that we could then use a tool once we get it cut through. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these three feathers here with our bigger piece on this side. So we're going to group all of that together just so when we move it, it's fine. Back, make sure we have those pieces as well. Really, I just want this whole group. Okay. Yeah, just like that. So now we have our patterns. Do the same thing here with these. So they're grouped up. We have matching patterns, which is really nice. And we can lay them, didn't get everything. We can lay them out on our board here, which is going to be our actual laser cutting board. So we just want to make sure everything kind of fits within. I try to stay away from the edges as much as possible, just because it just confines us a little bit, and I don't really want to do that. So if we do that, take this and go up just a little bit here. Just like that. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to export this, and we are just going to do we're going to export it over to our laser here and see if we can't actually get this cut out. Because if we can get it cut out, we can kind of do a quick put together and see how it kind of looks and go from there. The last thing I need before we do actually is I need to make a couple of these. So I'm actually going to want a rectangle here. We have other shapes. Let's see. I think a rectangle is going to be best bet we've got here. We want this to be one inch long. Nope, sorry, 2 inches. 2 inches long by 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, I like the feathers too. I think they're going to be a cool little touch. We're going to round these the rest of the way here. Like that. Then convert this to curves here. I just want to bring this straight out a little bit. Do the same on this side, just so we have kind of that elongated edge here. Make a new circle. Make sure it's pretty much the same size here. Be about 1.5 inches away. As close as we possibly can. And I'm going to want to center both of these like that. We need 2 of those. Group them, paste and move, and look. Actually, we need 4 of these. So do this again. Move them up. And then move everything back onto our plate here. And then we should have everything we need for our face mask. At least barring the straps that actually go around your head proper. Let's see how this turns out. We are going to export it. Minimize this and jump over to our laser engraver here. Delete that. Can import what we just exported here, which is our face masks. There we are. That's a little bit problematic here because it looks like it did not save feathers being erased, which means we're gonna have to do this the hard way. Treated as an image. Interesting. Okay. In this case, what I might do is jump back to our designer here. Because I would rather get not the curves I wanted. Which one do we have here? That one. interesting. So we have a fill there. Where is this? Oh, just a box around the edge. Okay. Okay. I see what you're doing, design software. So we are going to have to do this by hand, which is fine. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But this is how we live and learn. Jump back over. Grab all of these here. Drop that opacity down a little bit. We're just going to draw some lines ourselves. Which is funny because this was a hand-drawn piece that I did a while ago, but I guess I only saved it as a PNG. So, of course, the laser is going to treat it as an image because it's not a vector. Okay, so what we're going to do, take all of these, we want basically everything but the sharp points to be rounded, so it smooths those out nicely. Quick line. Delete. Not what I wanted to delete here. Delete that one. Turn you to a curve. Alright, there we go. Wanted a new line, thank you very much. Just gonna go down through, so we get faster as we go. Mostly because we can start copy pasting things. Just like that. One more here. There we go. Before we go through and smooth these, I'm just going to do these lines all pretty quickly here. Just going to go a little bit faster that way. Not what I want. There we go. Hopefully this isn't too boring for people. There we go. Back over here. So realistically, I could honestly just draw this out again in on the leather directly, and maybe sometime I'll do that and just kind of show that process. But when I want stuff to match, especially if I want tooling and special work to, you know,
match and be even on both sides or be identical, this really helps with that process because it lets me kind of pull together designs that are pre-planned and then are the same dimensions, the same kind of layout, and then I don't have to like hold a piece of paper up to mark and trace on the leather itself because I can just let the laser do the work. And then I can come back and do the actual like tooling process, which is going to be what makes this kind of look three-dimensional and just kind of be a cool addition. There we are. Now to make this go a little bit faster, unselect that, and everything else is going to be a curve. Everything else is a curve. And everything else is a curve. Do the same thing with these, with the exception of these endpoints. So we want those to stay nice and sharp, and then everything else is going to kind of curve out. And then finally, this last one. Again, just a few pieces to unselect. There we go. Everything else will be curved. Now we've got kind of some nice smooth lines. Actually hide all of those. Okay. That's the problem. There we go. So why are we only selecting things I don't want? You, and you. You, and you. Group all of that stuff together. I'm gonna copy it. Head over here and paste it. Do a quick transformation to flip. We're basically just gonna kind of get this right in the same spot. Now, let's see, find my group here. You. There you are. Just get rid of those. This group to get moved up into. This would be so much better if I actually labeled anything. This is how we learn, I guess. There you are. That's the group I wanted in. There we go. Okay. There. Now we actually have a setup that should work for us. So we're going to export this one more time. Export. Do this again, and now we're going to switch back over to our laser engraver here. We are just going to go ahead and clear everything out. Clean slate. We're going to re-import our face mask patterns. That's much cleaner. Now what we want to do is we actually want to ungroup these real fast. Until we have access to just the feathers. Yep. So we want these to be on our second layer here. Because these won't be filled, they'll still be line, but we want them to be pretty quick. Go about 2040. I do like sci-fi. I'm a big fan of sci-fi. Four passes here. Okay, I think we are set up. I'm gonna turn our laser on. Probably get our camera set up so we can watch the laser go as well. So bear with me for a minute. Get everything adjusted here. Go. Okay, we are going to switch over here.
Turn our PTZ back on. We can now look at that. I'm gonna pick up our sewing machine here for a little bit, get it out of the way, so we can prep a sheet for laser cutting. There we go. That. Who here is ready to cut something with a laser? I know I am. off our old laser cut here. I think for this one, we're just going to go with our nice chocolate brown. I have a few sheets already ready for that. That's kind of why I'm choosing it. Or rather, I think I'm going to go with our whiskey, not our chocolate. So this is just kind of that nice deep tan color. Yeah, I'm excited. This will be fun. So this is how I get a lot of stuff like the patches cut out, because I can engrave really clear text on them. So I can engrave stuff like leather patches that say your pronouns, or say crazy things, or let's see if I can find it. No, I've got a nice one that's like the Therian emblem. You know, all of that's laser engraved, and then I do the work to make it, iron on or sew on. Okay, we got this. I'm going to situate it. You can see my back for a minute. So, we are there. Walk in front. I apologize. This is the best way that I can actually. This is the best way I can actually do the laser right now. So it's a little messy. I would love to get a camera installed in the enclosure, but for now, this is what we're going to do. This is why I'm affiliate, though. I can raise money for this stuff. So if you want a laser, if you want a camera in the laser enclosure for future projects, keep supporting and sharing. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, so we are honed, looking good there. We're looking at about a 17-minute cut time on this. I can probably get it down a little bit. Let me just optimize some things a little bit here. Go. Everything looks like it's grouped now. Yeah, okay, now we're down to about 14 minutes. Okay, so what I'm doing here now is we are just framing things out. Basically wanting to make sure that the laser is not going off its bounds. And it looks like we're pretty good right on the first attempt. All right. So we are going to close this up. I'm going to turn my fans on, so audio is going to get a little bit muddled here. And then we are going to let this laser go. Right. Are we ready for this? Are we ready for laser time? I'm ready for laser time. I think it's going to be fun. It'll be a great time to just kind of enjoy the laser. Actually, even let's swap these over so you can see the laser more fully, and we'll just have some fun. And off we go. Hope everyone's having a good evening. Hope everyone's just kind of relaxing and chilling a little bit as we go. Like I said, the laser's going to go for about 14 minutes, so we've got a little bit of time. I might duck by and run to the bathroom, take a quick stretch, but I'll still be here. In fact, I should hydrate. Everybody here should be hydrating. If you're not, take a drink of water, grab a soda, or an energy drink, whatever you need to drink. Just take a little bit, hydrate, take care of yourself. Generally, make sure that you are taken care of, because you are a plant with complicated needs. But those base needs are food, water, and a little bit of sunlight. Again, thank you to everybody who's been hanging out tonight. We've made some really cool stuff. Finished this collar, which I'm really, really pleased with. We might take some photos of this here after we finish the laser cut. Kind of maybe finish out the night doing some photos. I'm doing some photography of the finished product. Maybe we go back to some stitching. I don't know. We'll see how everybody's feeling and how I'm feeling. So laser cutting is not something I do super often, but I do it for some things. Again, smaller items, patches, keychains, things like that that have kind of more complex shapes or engraving needs, but don't have a big footprint. So I will use the laser to kind of help me cut some of those. Just saves on time. And allows me to focus on doing the fun stuff like the painting or the dyeing and the larger projects that can't be done with the laser. pour some more water here. Show that waterproof, that's what I'm doing here. So we are laser cutting a leather face mask pattern. We have gone through and taken this pattern all the way from paper design. So this is what we originally started with. The pieces will kind of fit together like this, create that mask. When we sew it all up, it's going to look really nice. But we've taken that, we've digitized them, and now we can use our laser engraver, our laser cutter, to actually do a little bit of cutting and save us a little bit of that time. Now, the time we spent building this probably took as long or longer than just cutting it ourselves. This is not a big project. These are not big pieces. We could have easily just done it by hand. But the cool part with this is that we can get some engraving done, we can get some customization pieces done, and now that I have it built out, I can make these far quicker than if I had to make them all by hand. Still going pretty nice. Again, thank you for everyone who's hanging out tonight. Thanks for coming and celebrating my my affiliate promotion, if you will. I'm excited to be able to do this more. I'm excited to do different things and try new things. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I love showing this sort of stuff and letting you guys see it. I hope you're having a good time as well. And fingers crossed this stuff turns out good, and I'll be able to keep doing this for a really long time. Gentle reminder, if you want to, you can redeem channel points for fun emotes or fun things. You can also redeem bits for some fun stuff, including text-to-talk or text-to-speech messages, as well as, if you want to try to click or train a bird or play some sounds, you can definitely do that. Just little fun bits. Obviously, just to allow us to kind of interact a little bit more as we work on stuff. I feel like I should be doing something, but the truth is, the way the camera's set up to watch the laser, it's right in the middle of my workspace. It's like right here, and so it's a little hard to kind of work on something else. Esper, thank you so much. Have a good night. Hopefully see you next time. And yeah, thanks for stopping by and hanging out. All right, we have about 5 minutes left. So we're moving along at a nice clip on this laser engraving, this laser cutting. It should be going pretty nicely. And yeah, we'll see how it turns out. See if we can't kind of put this together and see what the mask looks like. And if it looks really good, great. We'll kind of finish putting it up, and I might just throw it up in the store. Just as something to do. Probably won't finish it tonight, but we can at least do the basic assembly to see what we're talking about. Also, thank you to my lovely mods who are just going to help keep track of things. Really appreciate that. I appreciate them being here for my streams. But yeah. Alright, we've got a few minutes left to go on the laser here, and we'll pull it out and take a look at it. Good reminder, Victor. Stay hydrated, both myself and the viewers. Take a couple drinks, even if it's just a sip of water or a sip of coffee or whatever your drink of choice is tonight. Just hydrate a little bit. I do have a question for chat, actually. Has the music been less choppy than it was last stream? If you were here yesterday, we had some issues with our music. So if it's a little better, let me know. I'm using a different player this time. I think it's nicer. So far, it seems like it's been less choppy. We're about 75% done with the laser here. Alright, we've got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to jump through and run an ad to about to that point. But when we get that, it should be done. We should be right at the finish mark. about 20 more seconds. And we should be just about done. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the setup. Alright, I'm going to turn the PTZ off for just a second. Just because it's super zoomed in. Go. Get that adjusted a little bit. Much better. Alright, let's take a look at our laser design. Here we are. I think we came on pretty nicely. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Definitely a little cleanup to do here. Pull these off and set them aside for a second. Have a good night. Thank you so much for swinging by. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm always impressed too. It works so well. Alright. We're going to do a quick just kind of wipe down on this. See if we can't get some of that charring off the top. Looks like that's going to turn out nicely. Yeah, you can see that our simple engravings turned out really good. Let's see here. Make it a little bit closer just so you can see them in the window here. Now these are going to be pretty simple. They're supposed to be that way. I'm not looking to make them hyper detailed or anything like that because I'm going to add the detail when I actually physically tool the leather. The tooling is going to be where it's kind of the term we use for like carving into the leather. It's where you see some like that really fancy filigree or stamping. That is tooling. And so we're going to go through and we're going to tool this leather to give us that kind of really nice detailed finish. First, we're just going to finish wiping these down. Just want them to be nice and clean. Probably do the same for sanding the edges here in a little bit, but for the moment I'm more interested in just making sure the faces look good because I want to lay this out and see what it would look like when it's all put together. Make sure we pop out all these holes here. A lot of times the laser cuts where there's a little tiny bit of fiber that can be left on and hold the little leather confetti here in the hole itself. wonderful pile of leather fetty to add to our collection. Just like that. We'll set that all off to the side for now. So the way this will work, we are actually going to have it sit just like so. Interesting. Notice my holes didn't line up. That's really fascinating. You know what? Other side. They didn't line up because I was looking at the bottom, or I was looking at the wrong side. That's much better. Now, you might be looking at this and saying, Birdie, this is not a mask. And that's because it's not yet. We are going to put these together, just like this. And then we're going to stitch together these two lines, which are going to help close this off and give us some structure for the nose and the chin. And doing that will give us an actual mask that we can work on. Meanwhile, these little tabs here are going to get folded back on themselves, just like so. And they're going to sit over these holes, and this will be where our D-ring or some other hardware is going to come from and go to the rest of the strap proper. Now that means they will cover this this filigree or this tooling that we do a little bit, but that's okay. We're really more doing this for a piece of test, to see if it looks good. But yeah, I think this looks really good. I think it turned out really nicely for one of our patterns. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, this will probably be all we do tonight. The tooling and stuff I might save for a future stream. I just want to make sure these turned out okay, and it looks like they did. So I am happy to work on it at another time. That said, I think I am going to call it a little bit early tonight. We've been going for about 3.5 hours. I usually try to do 4, but I'm tired. It's been a long day for me, and I kind of want a little bit of a break. Now, that said, I am going to see, I'm not sure exactly about my schedule at the moment for the weekend, but I am thinking about possibly doing maybe a Sunday evening stream where instead of Leatherwork, we might just do like a cozy game or something, something that's actually just a little bit gaming, a little bit more chill and not leatherworking. Mostly because I want to change up the pace. I want to work on I want to do something a little bit different for now, and just give that a go. We're still going to be mostly doing leatherwork. We're still going to be, working on these projects. Some of them I'm going to continue off stream. My black leather cuff set, this kind of rainbow and black, I will be continuing off stream because I need to get it finished up for the client. But when we come back, I'll have some more projects to work on, including one of the ones that I'm really excited about, which is going to be working on this respirator. So I want to build a leather cover, not dissimilar to this, but something that is built and designed specifically to go around the central part of this face mask. I want it to be leather. I want it to be something that's customizable, that looks really cool, and so we're going to try a new way of patterning to get the shape right and see if we can't make this something that we could add to any 3M respirator mask. That said, for now, I think we're going to call it for the evening. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for spending time and for dedicating your evening to just chilling with me. And I hope that I'll see you on Monday at 10 a.m. Maybe this weekend if I stream some games. or alternatively, right here Wednesday and Thursday next week at 7 p.m. like usual. We have plenty of stuff we can work on, plenty of chill music and chill vibes, and lots to go around. So thank you again.